night, real late.
So you get up. I mean, are you already in bed, and then you get an idea, and then you get up and start writing?
Sometimes, yeah, or a lot of times I'm just up real late. I'm just trying to cool out, and these things happen. But yeah, there's a lot of that just wake up and, man, you know, I got something or something I'm working on already. Yeah. Either a musical piece or a thought. It's really weird how I write. I don't know. It's really life inspired. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. There's, you know, you've been on the show a couple times, and I've always wanted to ask you this, and I don't think I ever have. Is how did you come to be from? Now I remember you as a very young man, as kind of this kind of crazy drummer guy, and how did you come to this place where you're writing songs and playing guitar and singing? Because you didn't do that back then. I don't remember you doing that. Maybe you did and you didn't tell anybody. But how did you come to that?
That's a good question.
Because it seems to work for you.
Yeah, it does, and that's kind of, I think, it's just years of being involved in music. I found when I was a drummer, I wasn't just a drummer. Yeah. I was always really into what I was doing.
I know you were into it.
You know, I mean, I could feel it. I've had a lot of people say, well, I think I'm a lyrical drummer. I've heard that said about some people. I would listen to more than just keeping my time down. And I think...
you were a very expressive drummer, I thought.
I was at one point. Yeah, I went through a bunch of different stages. Yeah. But I don't know. I guess, you know, the last band I was in, things were going sour, as they always seem to do with a lot of bands. And I guess I kind of wanted to just, you know, do something different. And a bass player had given me an old classical guitar. I always had a guitar around. I always kind of secretly liked the guitar, but I couldn't do anything with it. And, my sister was a guitar player for years, and she tried to teach me when I was a kid, and I just, you know, I wasn't that disciplined. I was like, no, it hurts my fingers. I can't stretch my fingers. I can't do that, you know.
Yeah, I can't do that.
And I still can't. I still don't claim to be a great guitar player, and I don't think I really desire to be a great guitar player.
It's not about that, though, is it?
No, it basically came about I needed something to do to fill in the spots. I was kind of done with being in bands, and you know.
And you still wanted to find a musical.
Being a drummer was always a problem because I had to, you know, have a place to play. You know, you play them in the apartment, and neighbors freak out. They call the cops. You know, if you're going to play with anybody, you got to bring this huge load of stuff to the gig, and you know.
And you got to have a band.
You got to have a band, and then you wind up playing something either you don't really like playing or somebody else's stuff. And in the last band I was in, I had a lot of freedom as a drummer to express things we co-wrote together. I actually wrote the words to one of the songs in that band, and the other guy sang it. And, you know, I would work very closely with Don Tessier, who was the rhythm and lead writer for that band on guitar, and we came up with a lot of cool things. And when the band broke up, I started messing around with this classical guitar I had, which I found to be easier than any guitar anybody else had ever given me because it had a nylon string.
Nylon strings, yeah.
And I'd fool around, and I'd get a few chords here and there, and I'd hum, and I'd think of things, and little by little, it kind of turned into I wrote a song for my wife in the middle of the night. Yeah. Or it was about life, or just something. Yeah. And nobody ever heard it, you know. I was kind of embarrassed of it, you know. It's my thing to do, you know. And then slowly but surely, it got a little tighter, and people started hearing it, and there was this response that, wow, you ought to, you know, play more of that. You ought to do that more. You ought to go to an open mic. You ought to do this. You ought to record that. You ought to write some more. You should spend some more time with that.
And you did.
I did, and I started enjoying it. And then, you know, my wife here, she pushes me. Because if it was me, it probably would have never got beyond that. It probably would just still stay there because I'm not really that ferocious of a person to go out and be somebody. I just play.
Well, apparently she believes in your music.
I guess that's it, you know.
Apparently that's it. And she believes in you. So
I realize now.
Those are beautiful things.
It is, you know, and they say behind every good man is a great woman. Well, I've got one sitting right here in front of me. And, you know, through doing this, I realized how many lives I've touched, how many people I've touched. I've made friends that, you know, and it really is an important thing that if you're sharing something that people are getting, if it's a really cool message, that you do it and you share it with the world, and it's a really good feeling. A lot of people like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'd rather. I'd rather somebody like the fact that they like what I'm doing rather than why I'm doing it or how big of a world reach I've got or anything like that, or you know how flashy a guitar. You know, I'm not really up for the fame thing.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes we have this conflict with my wife because as a promoter, to get it out there to be heard, she's really about getting it in places, and I look at it as, you know, why are you doing that? You know, geez, you know, and
It's
Yeah.
just to be
'cause
heard.
Stop annoying me.
you know, and
It's just to be heard, though, by everybody. It's not.
but
for
really,
the other part.
it all kind of goes hand in hand. If you want to spread it around, you know, and I'm glad to. I'm honored to know that I've got fans in Italy and Europe and all over
Yeah.
selling records there. But you know,
Yeah.
at the same time, it's kind
You
of weird.
probably never go there though.
No, it's the weirdest thing. You know, I get like messages from
You should.
people.
Music
You
has
probably
touched the
should go
soul,
there.
the soul and ground of that country, but yet you've never traveled there.
Yeah.
But your music has.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool enough for me.
That is pretty cool.
I can
That
stay
is
home
pretty
and play with my cat and you know do the things I want to do.
So you picked up the classical guitar and you started playing it, and did you teach yourself how to play, or did you take some lessons? Or
No, I've
did you-
never really had a formal lesson in my life. I mean, I've been around. I've got some friends that are great guitar players.
And they show you some tricks and stuff.
or they show me cheater things, and I
Yeah.
just kind of go from there. Because my buddy Donnie, he's been playing guitar for 30 years.
Oh yeah, he's good.
And he's like, dude, you got an incredible amount of feel, and you know where
Yeah,
to
you-
drop stuff. But I'm like, well, I was a drummer. I think that's it. And I've got a melodic ear. But as far as technique, he even says, geez, I don't know how you. He goes, you do things that if I did, it just wouldn't sound right. And he goes, but
Yeah.
you do them and they sound right. And he goes,
Yeah.
you're definitely putting your heart into it. And I've always thought that this is really about, it's coming right out of the soul.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's kind of, and I learn things as I learn them and as I want to. But you know, there's people that say, oh, well, you're stunting yourself, you know, from not taking lessons. But you
No,
know,
you're not.
I don't think so. I think, you know,
I've never taken any. Well, actually, I
if it's
take
not
that
broken,
back.
don't fix
Yeah.
it, you know, and I love doing it, you know. I mean, with the drums, I actually went and tried to get into that and take it a step further and do all that, and I got kind of like burnt on it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love to, you know, get behind a drum set and go for it.
Yeah. So should we play another cut off of the Anywhere from Nowhere? You think? Would you like to play another one?
What do you got?
Did you get the other one?
You got back roads too, or is that one all loaded up and ready to go?
Well, I've got
Whatever's-
Anywhere from Nowhere all loaded up here.
Okay.
How about if I play the How I Roll one?
That sounds good. Number one.
That's a
Yeah,
good
that's a
number
pretty
one.
good. It's a good song.
Number one cut here. Let's give that a whirl. Go back to it here. All right. This is How I Roll from Eddie Riel. To the Twilight Poetry Pub, and I'm your host, Tommy Twilight. So how do you like that, huh? We got a guest tonight. It's Eddie Riel, and Eddie is really happy to be here, and he's going to play us some songs live in the studio. A special treat for all you out there and listening in Radio Land. So, what do you got coming up here, Ed?
I got a song that I just wrote recently for my friend Paul Randall, who passed away 2 weeks ago on Friday night, early Saturday morning, of complications from COPD.
Jeez.
At the age
Much too young.
He just turned 43. He was like a brother to me. So on the night I heard that, I really couldn't think of anything to say. I was just, I was shocked. But after the initial shock wore off, I just grabbed my guitar and wrote a song about a few things about Paul. So this is called South Street. Say, I wouldn't wish this hell on anyone. I'm pulling the trigger on this life like a handgun. Don't know if I'll be around tomorrow with the rising sun, but I keep holding on to all that's good to me. I guess I'll go on home to my lover back down on South Street. And I remember those Saturdays, front row, sitting right in front of me. I'd sing my songs, and you'd sing along. You'd say, play me that song, the one that makes me feel alright. In the middle of the night by the candlelight, you know that song, play that tonight. And I'd say alright. And I keep holding on, 'cause now you're just a memory. Holding on to all the things you meant to me. Holding on. I remember all those nights. You're down on Drake Lane. You call me up and say, man, I'm hurting. My heart's broken, I'm in pain. Should I go home? Will she still love me the same? I guess I'll go on home to my lover back down on South Street. And I'd say go on home to that lover down on South Street. Just a few things that I recall. Man, I'm gonna miss it all. Few things that I recall. Just a few things that I recall. Man, I'm gonna miss you, Paul. I wouldn't wish this hell on anyone, pulling the trigger of this life like a handgun. Don't know if we'll be around tomorrow to see the rising sun, but keep holding on. I know she's good to me. Keep holding on. Now you're just a memory. I keep holding on. Well, I got that call today from your lover down on South Street. She told me that she passed away. I sat in shock. I couldn't find the words to say. But I picked up my guitar, and through the tears I began to play the words they came to me. Like everything you meant to me, and all the things that were good to me. Still remember you saying, I wouldn't wish this hell on anyone. I'm pulling this life like the trigger of a handgun. Don't know if I'll be around to see the rising sun, but I keep holding on. I keep holding on. Just a few things that I recall. I'm gonna miss it all. Just a few things that I recall. I'm gonna miss you, Paul.
Live in the studio, Eddie Riel. I'm gonna miss you, Paul. Out on South Street.
Amen.
Amen. Nice cut.
Thank you.
Nicely done. Even if you're a little hoarse in the voice tonight,
Oh,
still
bad.
sounded good. Yeah. So now, songwriting is something that you do, and all these songs on your albums are your original songs. Is that right?
Yeah.
And do you ever do a cover type song? Have you ever done that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and probably playing live anyway.
Oh, yeah, playing live. But even then, though, you'd be lucky if you hear even a handful.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm trying to get away from doing the real long shows. I kind of just like opening up for somebody, or
I do too. Yeah.
or the 45-minute to an hour.
Yeah.
2 hours is cool, and then usually I'll bring an opener, like a really good friend, and
Yeah.
have him play an hour or 45
Yeah,
minutes. And
45 minutes to an hour, I find, is a good amount of time because
we're getting old and our hands fall apart.
yeah, and It's just you can put your energy into it, and that's enough.
For me,
It's like enough.
Yeah.
If I listen to a band for an hour, it's like enough. I listen to a guy play for an hour. For me, it's like enough. If I play for an hour, that's enough for me. I don't know.
Right. I mean, I really seldom. They don't make 3-hour albums.
No, they don't.
Unless it's Yes or something.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yeah,
You're
sure.
going to be listening for a while.
Yeah.
Which I like those bands. No disrespect for that, but.
Yeah. I mean, there's some jazz guys that'll play for like a half an hour at a shot, but that's about it, the limit of it.
Right.
You might find a classical piece you might find a piece that's half hour, 45 minutes long, but mostly not.
Well, the good thing about doing a lot of these bars, if you're going to get a 3-hour slot or something, is you can have an opener.
Yeah, you should have some. Yeah.
Or a guest. I usually bring a guest.
Bring your friend.
1 or 2 guests, and then that gives me enough time to give them as much time as I feel they need or I need,
Yeah.
And you can take your breaks in between, so it's kind of cool. It works out all right. But I mean, generally, I ain't real big on dominating the scene with playing all the time. That's not really my thing. Is writing the music, recording it, getting it out there.
Yeah.
Letting the wife do what she wants to do, promoting it, and getting it heard. And then, when I do these little gigs, hopefully these people that want to see it and hear it so bad that it falls on a day they can get there, Because I run into the thing where people are, oh, man, when you play it again, I really want to see you live. I'm like, well, just come out to a show.
Speaking of that, you have 2 shows coming up.
I do.
And what are those shows coming up? This is a good segue into the gig promotional time right here.
The end of the month. This month.
Lori's going to talk.
Lori's going to talk.
Yeah, she's going to pitch the show.
Hello. He has a show at Luthier's Co-op April 25th from 7 to 8 p.m. and May 23rd at the Bread Euphoria on Route 9 in Haydenville. That's, I believe, Saturday from 6 to 8 p.m.
Yeah. So mark your calendars, April 25th at the Luthier's. And that's in East Hampton. That's a nice place to go see a show.
Beautiful place.
And I played there myself a couple of times, and I'm hoping to book another gig there sometime soon. And that April 25th is on my birthday, so maybe I'll try and get out there.
Wow, that'd be really cool.
And May 23rd at the Bread Euphoria, where you can get a nice pizza pie and listen to some nice music. And I've been to see shows there, too. I've seen Ray Mason there. I've seen the Kitchen Party there, and the pizza's good and the music's good. So
we're also due to do like a surprise schedule. Well, not really surprise, but we've already talked to him around Christmas time. The Legion in Haydenville is actually interested in having him play on a Friday or Saturday, so we're going to get back to him and schedule that one because the weather's getting nicer now. This winter we had to cancel a couple of shows due to the snow, and I'm sure a lot of other musicians did too, but that was very daunting.
There'll be a hiatus coming up at some point, though, so I'm going to have some major surgery done at some point. Okay. If all works out, financial-wise.
Okay.
And that's probably going to...
Probably middle to late summer, maybe early fall.
That will kind of leave me...
out of commission for a little while.
Yeah.
I'd say at least a good 6 to 8 months, depending.
Wow.
So
if you want to see Eddie Real play, catch him in April or May.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
Unless everything goes different with the whole thing and it's postponed, or I'm a real tough dude and I bounce back real quick, but we'll see,
Let's just hope for the best.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just hope for the best and hope you can keep making music and keep writing songs. Now, if I remember right, and I don't know if this is right or if this is true or not, did you, at some point a couple years ago, win some kind of songwriting contest in the area? Did you, is that something that happened for you, or you were finalist in some songwriting thing or something?
Oh, yeah, the thing for...
Like some radio thing or something, I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, that was for
remember.
Georgia, Florida Line, or what's the name of it?
Oh, yeah, Florida Georgia Line.
Florida, Georgia, I don't,
You actually, out of like 300 contestants, he became, I believe, number 24 or 25. He didn't actually
so he was
win.
like a finalist.
Oh, finalist,
thing,
yeah. But that was pretty amazing just to
Yeah.
get that because he got a lot of people to hear his
but I
music.
didn't get the golden key to the city.
No.
No.
Yeah, nobody gets that.
You know what? It was cool though, just to be. I didn't even really know she even did it. She was like told me after I was already
So
entered.
you entered it for
Yeah,
it? And
I
you
just
didn't tell him?
I put a couple videos. I told him
She
afterwards,
does
and then I
that
watched it
all
and
the
showed him. He's
time.
like, "What?"
I got to tell you,
It was pretty fun, you know. It was just, take a
But
chance.
you know, everything she's done has been really, really, really amazing.
Oh, I want to also say, there is a site on there that we just put your music on. He got over 700 views in like 3 weeks
wow.
for 4 videos,
Should
and
I?
it's called Exposed Vocals, and it's great for musicians to put in a platform, and they share it everywhere, and they actually have their own sharers.
Well, the biggest thing that's happened so far is, and I'm going to go public with it right now because, or should I not, or should I?
I have no idea what it is.
I don't know what he's going to say.
I'm going to shock you.
I know my eyes are like, "What?"
No coming out of the closet
No,
here,
please
nothing.
don't.
No, I'm very no.
Yeah, especially after 16 years, you're giving me shocked
I,
here.
oh boy, about a month ago, she comes, wakes me up 6 o'clock in the morning, all excited. She's like, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "You gotta." She goes, one of your videos that I uploaded to Twitter, this guy got a hold of me from this. I think it was Warner Brothers, right? Mm-hmm. He was the A&R VIP rep.
No, VP A&R.
VP A&R
Yeah.
rep. And I guess he saw something on Twitter that he liked, and he was interested in reviewing some music and wanted some M4A files.
Yeah, he shot a
So
private
she
message
sent
and gave
it
us
to
the
him.
email, and I wrote back, and we're just
Now,
waiting.
whatever that means, I obviously don't have a contract with Warner Brothers
Right.
at all. But I mean, the idea that somebody from one of the biggest labels in the world actually stumbled on something, liked it, and wanted something is, I guess that's a good thing.
Sure it is.
And if anything comes of it, hey,
Yeah.
but that's one of the biggest accomplishments I've done. And as far as I'm concerned, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? I'm proud of that. It's like, wow.
Well, you should be. And whether you think so or not, I think that your music has a certain, it does have a certain commercial appeal and
Really?
I think that it does. And I think because the style of it, it would probably fit into, and you may not like me to say that, but it would fit into a genre of a sort of a country Americana genre. And I think that it has a certain.
I don't
And some of it, I think,
Has a certain, it would have a certain, that kind of music is very popular these days, and you're certainly fit right into that mix, and you should be pleased with that, because I know it's just your natural way of playing and singing, but you should embrace that, because I think that it does have an appeal. It does have maybe more of a universal appeal than you think it does.
Yeah.
So
I think some of the slower stuff is the good, easy listening top 40 stuff.
Well,
too.
recently
Yeah.
I've been unloading a lot of stuff that's been in the closet, as it were.
Okay.
Funnier things and
Yeah.
stuff that I've always held back. So I've been doing songs like that. As a matter of fact, I'll play one later. But songs that such as I've got the Ding Dong song and some other crazy songs, bar songs.
Yeah.
Those are not
Sugar-
recorded.
Always good to have a
Sugar,
bar song.
Sugar and Spice is another.
Good to have
is
a
new
good to have a
song.
few bar songs.
So I'm kind of feeling my kind of testing the waters.
Yeah.
Doing different things.
All right, I want to play something off of Back Roads. What would you like me to play?
America?
Should I play the first cut, America?
America's a really good.
I love
All right,
that
I'm going to
song.
play that song. America, it is, off of the album Back Roads from Eddie Riel, America. The album Back Roads, an original song played by the Northern Redneck, and from East Hampton, Massachusetts, is that correct? Are you born and bred from East Hampton, Massachusetts?
I was born and bred in East Hampton, Massachusetts.
That's
Moved out to the Berkshires for a good part of 15 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Outside of Goshen, Chesterfield, and spent a little time out there. It's kind of where I really turned hillbilly.
Yeah, you know what? You've gone native. That's the thing up there.
Yeah.
That is the thing.
It's his roots too.
Yeah,
He's
there
got,
you go.
you've got native roots.
There you go.
Well, growing up here in East Hampton in the 70s and early 80s, and I was on the outskirts of town, up toward the Park Hill Road area and all that.
Yeah.
And I spent all my days in the woods. I was dirt bikes.
Yeah.
Snowmobiles.
Had my first car at 14, and I
Yeah.
ran around the woods until I got stupid and took it down the main road and got busted. And,
Yeah.
And so I mean, I'm no stranger to the redneck hillbilly
Sure.
kind of way.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Do you go hunting?
I haven't
Have
been
you-
hunting in
or
so
fishing?
long now.
We go fishing though, and
Yeah.
we're planning on going
Fishing.
fishing. And we went last year, and
Yeah.
I caught a 13-inch rainbow trout for the first time, and we cooked it up, and it was delicious.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, well, due to some crazy redneck stuff I did back in the past, I wasn't able to have FID for a little bit, you know.
Oh, jeez.
So for the past,
Whatever could have happened?
oh, you know,
I just don't understand.
I got a little too much yeehaw in me, I guess. But anyway, we won't even go there. But so for the better part of 20 years, I just bow hunted, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And then about a year or so ago, I got kind of broke around Christmas time, and didn't know how I was going to afford my son wanted this really elaborate Christmas present that I knew I couldn't really afford it, you know. And it was just hurting, you know. And
Yeah.
so my good buddy Paul, the one who just passed away, as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
I had a really nice compound that he had liked. So I went to Paul and I said, hey man, you know, I want to sell this bow, but you know, it's not worth a whole lot. And he goes, well, you know, I like that bow. And he goes, I'll buy it off you want to sell it. But he goes, I really hate to take your bow from the man, you know. And I'm like, well, no, I got to sell it. I'd rather sell it to you than anybody else.
Yeah.
And he said, what do you want for it? I'm like, well, it's not worth that much. It's a little bit older, and it's probably maybe $250 because it's in mint condition, you know, on the net. But I'm like, you give me $1.50 and we'll call it cool. He's like, no. He goes, now you won't even be able to have no Christmas with that. So he comes over at $400 and hands it to me.
That's pretty cool.
And he's like, here, I want the bow. And I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, that's too much, man. I'm like, I can't do that. I'm like,
just give me the arrows that go with it.
you know, and there was no way that he would once he handed it to me, he went to the room and grabbed the bow and he goes, we done a transaction.
Yeah,
he's like, don't make me angry.
Yeah, he's just your friend.
He was just a really good guy, you know.
And our son,
he's just looking out for you. That's
He did,
all.
you
So
know.
your son, Kevin.
And our son won't forget that Christmas, you know, that he had a
That's
good
good.
Christmas.
That's good.
I mean, we had a heck of a Christmas that year, but you know, in the end, and then at one point he even offered to give me the bow back. That's what a good soul this guy was. He's like, you know, I'll give you your bow. I'm like, no way, man. I'm like, I can't even think of that, you know.
Yeah.
So I haven't been hunting in quite a while since that, but I've been so wrapped up in the music and just being a dad and a family man and just doing other things. I mean,
It's great.
this does take a lot of effort, you know, because I'm really into it,
It does.
you know, and you get wrapped up in it. You know, it's always
We still do our
guitar
trail
strings
walking. We're
and-
going to be doing the mountain too, again soon.
And when I'm not doing it, I mean, don't get me wrong, I have guitars all around the house on stands. I'm playing constantly. I'm always got stuff chewing in my head.
Yeah.
But when I do get away from it, I get away from it completely. You know, I mean, that's what I try not to do is even deal with it because, you know, that's when it's time to be,
All right.
you know.
We are here with Eddie Riel. This is the Twilight Poetry Pub on WXOJ, Northampton, 103.3 FM, Valley Free Radio, streaming worldwide at valleyfreeradio.org. And you should support Valley Free Radio if you can, and send them money so we can keep shows like this, like these local programs, like our program, like Farm to Fork that was on before us, like the Adventure Rocket Ship that's on after us, and the Jambalaya Show, which is on after that. So, and the Valley Tango. There's just so many great locally produced shows on Valley Free Radio. We're just very proud to be here tonight. And we're proud to be sharing some great local music with our friend Eddie Riel. And Eddie, I think you're going to play one more live song for us. How do you feel about that?
I feel pretty good about
All
that.
right.
Now?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, now.
I'm just, not right now. No. Anyway, all right. So this is a song that I've been, it's not recorded yet. I'm actually working on it. Actually, I did record it, but I didn't like the way it came out, so we're going to do it again. But this is a song called Sugar and Spice. I've been playing it around the valley, and this is Sugar and Spice, and everything a little bit of naughty and nice. And it's a good old song. Well, I see you over there, honey, catching a look. I want to pencil your number in my little black book. I think I'm under that spell again, looking for a lover and a benefit friend tonight. Cause the devil, he got a hold of me, and I'm busting out my horn of the demon in me tonight. Alright, cause she's sugar and spice, everything nice. I tell you, I'm about to roll the dice tonight. Sugar and spice, alright. She's sugar and spice, everything nice. You don't have to ask me twice, cause I'm a little bit of try it once and twice if I like it, yeah. I like sugar and spice. It starts with a smile, it can end with a wink or another crazy story.